Yeah, recording has started. Guys, we are in for another Ask Marvin session. In this video, we have a very, very special guest. He's been in the previous portions of the vlog already, but this time, he's gonna ask me questions. Feeling ko he's gonna grill me with a lot of questions kasi sobrang galing niya, tapos sobrang yaman pa. So, the hardness of the questions, medyo kinakabahan ako. So, I'd like to welcome registered financial planner, Jeremey Tan in the vlog. So, hello, Jeremy. I'm ready. Okay. Let's do this.
Okay, game na ba?
Oh, game. Unless you want to make introductory. Baka yung meron kang gustong batiin sa mga fans mo sa Batangas.
Okay na.
Okay. Okay.
Sige. Siguro, so one thing, so I noticed the Security Bank was taken out of the index. So what's the impact of this for the stock? Security Bank stocks, and then ang pinalit nila was pure gold, right?
Okay, you're talking about MSCI, not the Philippine stock
index.
Sorry.
Yung index, yung PSEI, yes, PSEI.
And this can be a rule of thumb for everything, no, na tinatanggal tsaka dinadagdag sa index. So this can be for some funds that track certain stocks, and this can be for index funds also. So regardless of whatever question, same rule of thumb yung nangyayari. So ganito nangyayari. May mga mutual funds that track all of this indices. So meaning, kung tinanggal nila yung Security Bank, lahat ng mga funds that track it will have to rebalance. To rebalance, they will have to sell this stock also. So ganun din, if a lot of money is selling a large amount of stock, or if a large amount of institutions is selling a stock, more sellers will bring the prices down, or it may have a hard time also to go up. In the same way, for the short term, when something gets included, of course, ganun din yung mga funds, they will have to track it. Since they will track it, and to include it in the fund, they will have to buy. So if they will buy it in the same way for the short term, it may lead to a slight movement upward, but in no means does this change the fundamentals of the company. Kung ano man yung fundamentals nila dati, yun pa rin yun. Yung ginagawa lang naman ito is it adds it just allows more funds to track it, and it adds, kunyari, ganun din, kahit di sila magtanggal, but for example, they will say they will add more weight into a particular stock, ganun din, that means that they're buying more that they're gonna buy more into it. So in the same way, also a lot of the funds that are tracking it, kahit whether it be the PSEI or whatever fund out there, they will have to buy up more of it as well. So in turn, it places a demand dun sa stock na yun. So again, just to clarify, it doesn't change any of the fundamentals. It doesn't make it more. It doesn't make it a better. It doesn't make it a better company. It just means that more funds are gonna position into it. That's just basically it.
Okay. So isa pang question ko is, I noticed kasi bank stocks are pretty much not really performing as good as maybe the other industries. No, is there a downward bias in terms of bank stocks, or are they just moving sideways, waiting for things to happen, or is this something na meron bang possibly na we have to stay away from bank stocks in terms of the technicals, or?
My question is this: are you asking this in terms of trading or investing?
Trading, more on trading.
Okay, so yung maganda ngayon sa every time we have live streams like this, or at least recorded video settings, pwede tayo maglabas ng chart. So yun yung advantage compared to going na magkausap tayo, magkikita tayo sa coffee shop to be able to do a video, and whatever you ask, it's easier to answer it. From a trading perspective, if you notice it here, di ko alam kung napapansin mo to, this was around Feb. Then from here to here, this is Feb to March. Then ito yung large drop ng March. So even before the lockdown, this is BDO, by the way. No, this is BDO. So we can look at other banks also later. But this is BDO. From here to here, way before the lockdown, bumaba na siya. Then it got accelerated after the lockdown. Then after the lockdown, nag-bounce siya. Then this is where it is right now. So key things that I want to mention off of this. Number one, it has already bounced from oversold levels kasi yung selling niya, yung irrationality niya selling nandun, kaya siya bumagsak malaki, then right now also it's not anymore dropping because it's sideways, and because it's sideways also there's no that actually means that walang anything, walang catalyst or walang exciting news or walang information that's causing investors to buy it higher, meaning wala pang expectation of growth. But in the same way, because sobrang laki nung binagsak niya, it was too cheap to ignore. That's why people bought it when it dropped at a very, very high point. And ganun din yun. If you look at, for example, I'll show you Metro Bank here. It looks almost the same. If I show you BPI, at least the big three, no, they look almost the same. So a lot of them, short, mid, longer bias niya, it's still bearish. If you're asking me short term, they're starting to consolidate already. Meaning, tapos na yung malaking bagsak niya, then nag-bounce na siya galing oversold levels. Will it go down further? Wala pang evidence as of now. It has to break down. If I'll draw a line here, lalagyan ko to ng support dito. If I'll draw support here, it has to break, for example, for BPI, it has to break below 56 for it to have any semblance na babagsak siya. Pero if I'll put a resistance here also, if BPI does not go up over the next few days or so, it's pretty much because malapit na rin siya sa resistance na 61.5. So if possible, maybe it could just oscillate here in a very, very short sideways trend. So if BPI, for example, does not hold this 56 level, pwede siyang bumaba to 49. Pag umakyat siya doon, next possible upward movement niya will be 72. So yun lang yung movement niya. I think yung kailangan malaman ng mga tao from a banking perspective, when times are bad, they will be the most hit in terms of wala kasi masyadong maglo-loan, walang bibili ng kotse, walang bibili ng condo. Lahat sila, linakyan nila yung loan loss provisions nila, meaning a lot of them are already expecting a lot of people na baka hindi sila makapagbayad ng loans nila this year. So I think there are other industries that are more affected. I have been saying this consistently na yung airline industry, yung tourism industry, yung hotels, they will get hit more. Pero it doesn't mean banks won't also be affected.
So which industry do you think would benefit more in terms of the movement in stocks siguro? Anong industry sa tingin mo yung medyo less hit? Would it be the consumer industry or?
Okay. Madami nagtanong nito sa previous video. So for those that watch this, they may know the answers already to this. But number one, I've mentioned that it's all about nag-change yung consumer behavior ng tao. Since nag-change yung consumer yung consumption or yung behavior of how people would spend, they will still spend pero nag-shift lang siya, meaning there will be some spending instead of for example them buying houses, cars, expensive bags. Mag-shift lang into basic grocery items, things that they need to survive, medicine, face mask. It will go to the payment of higher Meralco bills because they're at home, mas nag-aircon sila, water, kasi hopefully naliligo sila habang nasa bahay, kasi allegedly may mga tao daw na hindi naliligo habang naka-lockdown. So essentially when that is happening, those utility companies will still make money. Those companies that provide the bare essentials or at least provide medicine, provide coffee, canned goods, or kung ikaw yung supermarket na nagpo-provide nun, you will do relatively okay. And then kung ikaw yung telco companies, kasi katulad ng ginagawa natin ngayon, pinag-uusapan natin to over the internet. So since we're talking about this over the internet, it's using data. And I've been saying this over and over that because of the coronavirus, it will accelerate the use of digital payments more. It will accelerate the use of a lot of people, mapipilitan sila, yung mga ayaw mag-online banking, mapapa-online banking sila. So it will accelerate GCash, it will accelerate PayMaya, it will accelerate cryptocurrencies alongside of this. So in any crisis, there will always be winners. In any crisis, there will always be companies, industry sectors that will come out better, and there will be the ones naman that will be relatively battered.
Okay. And you mentioned kanina about, catalysts that, maybe some stocks are waiting for. Is it just Do you think this would be a long trend na until we get that vaccine ready?
Uh, that's one. That the vaccine, the cure, or yung siguro pwede hindi dumating yung vaccine or pwede hindi dumating yung cure, pero pag bumalik yung spending behavior ng mga tao na I don't know if this will happen. Kung walang walang vaccine, walang cure, pero nasanay na sila lumabas kahit may pandemic in a certain way, in a certain way na uh, puro take out na lang sila, pero they will still go take out or they will still order expensive restaurant food pero puro delivery. Kasi like for example, meron akong favorite na ramen shop, 400, 500, 500 plus 550 yung ramen nila. Until now naman, their shops are closed but they're making a lot from delivery. So mag-shift lang siya, but I think as long as the economy starts to open, that's a good sign for us, no. The more we have a shot that the economy opens little by little, then it becomes better. What we don't want is walang economic activity, because if there's no economic activity, it will be harder. Pero yun, tama yun, until walang vaccine, I don't think may manunod ng sine. I don't think traveling via airplanes will be as much, or at least going to resorts also. Pero there, another example, I want to mention this. Madaming mga tao, parang ikaw, feeling ko, Jeremy Tan, sobrang yaman. Ang daming may budget yan for travel. Ngayon, hindi ka magta-travel, you're spending more time at home. So, yung travel budget mo for the year, you're thinking about, since nasa bahay naman ako na matagal, bili ko na lang yung Lazy Boy kasi I'm spending a lot of time here. I want to be more comfortable. I'm working here. So, I think there will be some people who will spend their money in trying to improve their house, or at least try to make themselves more comfortable here. Like, for example, sa bahay namin, bumili kami ng mga chopper, mixer, ganun, kasi nagbe-bake yung wife ko, kasi hindi naman namin ginagawa dati yun. But since mas madaming time na nandito sa bahay, there will be a shift in terms of spending, and some of the budgets that will be used for travel, I think will be placed there. So that could happen even though walang cure. Pero meron pa rin talaga na kahit anong mangyari, until may cure, feeling ko hindi siya babalik sa normal.
So given na spending habits natin would change, do you think in terms of the stocks of some of these companies, fundamentally, looking at the fundamentals, do you think that it would make a big impact in terms of, kasi syempre, right now, some people are, especially those na merong cash talaga, some are investing looking at the stocks and then investing on the fundamentally sound companies. But some of the changes, these spending habits, these changes that would happen would definitely impact some of the fundamentals of these companies. Do you think medyo malaki yung impact niya in terms of the fundamentals of some of the, maybe the consumer industry or some other industries?
Part kasi ng pag-analyze ng stocks also, when you say fundamentals, you will make a lot of assumptions. So when people start investing today, it's under the assumption that they're already trying to assume that, let me try to give you an example. I said this in a couple of videos, that yung problema natin ngayon from a business standpoint, hindi dahil pangit yung pamamalakad ng mga company. Yung naging problem naman is because there's something that happened that was beyond their control. So when this item that's beyond their control gets finished, they will go back to being a good company. They will go back to operating the way they normally will run it also. So there will be some people that will actually say that, teka, once this is all over, this property development company, they're the market leader, they've been very, very good, they have a good track record, they will rebound and they will return back to normal. Their expansion plans will continue further. So some of them are thinking that there might be risk today, but I'm not buying them for today. I'm buying them for 3 years from now, and I'm willing to wait. So yung context ito are for people who are, when you look at it, I think they're very, they can withstand the volatility, meaning pag bumagsak siya further, okay lang sila kasi alam nila yung lalagyan nila. they have full conviction in it. If you don't have full conviction in what you're getting into, my suggestion, wag mo na muna bilhin. Kasi at the end of the day, totoo naman talaga na the greatest amount of money can be made when there's the greatest amount of risk. Pero the greatest amount of risk also requires the greatest amount of conviction when you start investing. So, if you're not fully convinced of what you're putting your money into, kasi madaming variables pa rin, kahit sinabi ko the best property developer, madaming moving parts, BPO, POGO, how does it affect that? The remittances of the OFWs, how does it affect yung ability nila to pay? So, those are all risks. Pero if your analysis is telling you that all of those risks, 3 years down the line, the earnings of the company will commensurate for the risk that you're taking today, do you buy it? If the answer to that is if you think hindi sulit, you don't buy it. Pero if you say you will buy it, you need to satisfy these conditions. Number one, may bala ka, meaning bumaba siya further, may pangsalo ka pa. Number two, your cash flow, meaning pera na pumapasok, hindi siya natigil. Wala kang utang, alam mo yung pag-diversify mo dun sa current portfolio mo. So, those are sa akin na intangibles na kailangan inherent siya dun sa pag-invest mo, dun sa whatever stock you're getting into sa fundamentals. So, that being said, yung fundamentals nagbago, pero yung question doon is, at what timeline are you investing? Definitely, kasi if you're investing for today, lahat ng mga companies in our economy, nagbago yung fundamentals.
Okay. And when you say na, like you mentioned kanina, dapat may bala ka. So does that mean na don't put, let's say meron akong, let's say 100,000 budget for investing in stocks. And this is for the long-term investing. No? So does this mean I don't use all those 100,000 and see what happens first in the short term? Or
Pwede.
I buy...
Were you saying something pa?
Hindi. You were saying.
Okay. Pwedeng nila hatiin. Pero depende rin kasi kunyari may 100,000 sila pero alam nila 2 months from now may 100,000 ulit na papasok. So they can segment their buying based on alam nila kung magkano pa yung pwede nilang ilagay later based on future cash flow. Kasi hindi naman, ibig sabihin na may 100 ka ngayon, wala nang papasok ulit na pang-invest mo eh. Pero assuming lang yung premise na wala nang papasok 100, I will probably divide it into 2 or divide it into 3. Just for one stock, I won't distribute that into different stocks. But for example, I'm set on buying this. Meron na ako mga peg that if it goes here, ito yung pang-tranche ko doon. Or if it goes higher, ito yung pang-tranche ko doon. So meron kang, assuming that you don't know technical analysis, you're just buying it on valuations and certain price points. Since no one knows also how this will still turn out, at least meron kang linalagay at certain areas while the market is consolidating. So, yung important, hindi ka nawawalan ng bala at yung important also, may pumapasok na pera sa'yo. Kasi kung may pumapasok na pera, hindi ka kakabahan na kahit anong volatility yung meron, there won't be an added pressure na mag-pull out ka ng pera.
And as long as naintindihan mo that yun pang long term, kahit pa paano, this money is invest mo for 3-4 years down the line, at least yung time horizon mo. At least mas...
Very, very, very important yun. Kung hindi lang yung timeline na kung hindi mo alam kung ano yung papasukan mo, hindi mo alam bakit mo binibili yung stock na yun, kahit may opportunity, do not buy it. Do not buy or invest in anything, even if there's an opportunity, if you do not know what you're getting into. Kasi if you do not know what you're getting into, you don't have firm conviction, ano yung mga reasons mo bakit mo siya bibilhin. 3 months down the line, when things are not going so well, if you don't have a firm conviction, yun yung magpo-convince sa'yo para mag-panic eh. So my suggestion, if you're not sure, better not do anything. The only time you do something is when you're sure about it. It doesn't mean it's gonna be right all the time. It doesn't mean it's gonna be perfect. Pero you live and die based on your analysis or based on what you know also.
So kailangan pa rin talaga you analyze the reasons kung bakit ka papasok into the market rather than just putting money into it, no?
Oo naman, kasi I keep telling this to people, the stock market, it's not so hard to come into. Pero kung gusto mo talaga seryosohin, it's hard work also. It's something that you devote time to be able to learn. Kasi kung sobrang dali yun, di sana lahat ng tao sa buong mundo kasing yaman ni Jeremey Tan, lahat kasing bilyonaryo mo. So, or milyonaryo mo. Di ba? Yun.
Okay, sige. Well, that's pretty much it yung mga questions ko, no? So, okay. I'm good.
So, I hope you guys got a lot of this. If you don't remember, Jeremey Tan, we did a Facebook Live with him just a few minutes ago and he's back again asking gumanti naman siya kasi doon sa Facebook Live na yun, siya yung nagtanong sa kanya ng sobrang daming questions, and ngayon naman, he grilled me with a lot of stock questions. So, if you found Jeremey Tan to be super smart, he also has a video series. Nakita ko may nagpa-pop up na video series sa'yo eh. So, okay, go. And I'll put the link in also.
We have a Facebook page, JJT Premier Financial Services. So, dun sa Facebook page, I have 2 series that I do. One is Tips for Tuesday. So, we release videos or any content every Tuesdays. And then, every Thursdays, I invite guests rin as well to give talks para rin matuto rin from these people. Plan ko rin invite to si Marvin kasi very inspiring to si Marvin. So one of these days, makikita niyo si Marvin basta payagan niya akong ma-invite siya.
So guys, mag-unsubscribe na lang kayo sa akin, lipat na kayo sa kanya, okay lang. Okay lang. Support Jeremey Tan. So that's it. Well, no more questions. You're good.
Yep. Thanks.
Okay. So to everyone, thank you so much. If you have any other questions, based on what we talked about, please put them in the comment section below, and then I'll try to see how I can make videos again based on your questions. And then if you like this format, again, this is raw, unedited, Q&A setup. Let me know also. Let me know if you're learning from this, and if you stayed, we're at the 21-minute mark. Let me know if this is something that's helping you and if you're learning from this. And then appreciate it, guys, if you get so much value from this. If you can press the like button, the thumbs up button, so that it shows this video to more people, and the YouTube algorithm knows that Filipinos like investing pala. And then 2 channels, Marvin Germo, this channel. Please like, subscribe, and I have a second channel, Marvin Germo Podcast. The link is in the description below. You can click that to be led there. That's all of the other non-stock market related videos. So that's it for now. Thank you. By the way, books in the description also below. Thank you, Jeremey Tan, for guesting. And to everyone, I hope this video helped you trade well, trade strong, trade smart. See you all again soon. And goodbye.